Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's begin today's class. So let's open the class. Sit straight. Back and neck will remain straight. And gently close your eyes. And start observing your breath. Just observe the natural flow of your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. And as your mind begins to calm down, align your body, be in the posture. Keep the body relaxed and then gently come back to the breath. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Prepare the mind for chanting 3 times, followed by 3 shantis. Inhale for Om. Feather in front of the chest and rub both the palms together. Place them on the eyes and very slowly while blinking and looking at the palms, open up your eyes, come back with a smile, and namaste to everyone. I hope that you guys can hear me. Is my voice breaking or am I audible?
We can hear you.
All right, great. So let's begin today's session. So since I'm not sure if on the video it's going to be visible. So today, instead of supposed to be today's topic, I am Ujjayi breathing, because you have been doing little bit of that in your practical classes as well. So it will be easy for you to grasp this pranayam, right? So let's begin this class. So, now we are stepping into pranayam practice, right? So now it is again very important that your spine remains straight and you adopt either any meditative posture or any, general posture where the spine remains straight. You can sit in Sukhasan, Padmasan, Swastikasana, all of these asans, make sure that the spine remains straight, right? And these are one of the best postures for pranayam and meditation practice, right? So, let's just begin with the chat box also. 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐴𝐻𝐵𝐵 Ujjayi Pranayama, and this is also called victorious breath or ocean's breath. Victorious breath or ocean's breath. And Ujjayi, the Sanskrit term Ujjayi in itself actually means victorious. Hence, the English name victorious breath has been given to it. It is one of the pranayams, which, victorious over what? You become victorious, you become free from bondages. So, it is said that when one practices this pranayam, one becomes free from the bondages, right? Because this pranayam has a tendency to take you into subtle state of mind, right? So it makes you free, at least for basic understanding, we can say that, free from the bondage of our own thoughts, right? Another name, as I've written, ocean's breath. So when we do this pranayam, like the waves in an ocean, the sound that the waves make, the sound is quite similar to that when you practice this pranayam. Hence, it is called ocean's breath also. So let's move to the, other specific things that we need to know about it. And after that, I will explain to you the technique, right? So other things that we need to know about it, one is your posture. I already told you. Now you are entering the practice of pranayam. So stability in posture from now onwards, it becomes much more important, right? So you practiced asanas to stabilize the postures. Now this is the point. These are the practices where the stability in posture is actually going to come into use. You put so much effort into asana practice, so there must be some reason behind it. You need to have a goal, right? So this is your goal so that you can sit comfortably for a long period of time when you're working with your breath. So the duration, let's understand for how long should one practice this. Right, for a beginner, it's okay to just go for, anywhere like around 10 rounds. 10 rounds are good enough. But as you go deeper into the practice, a practice of about, 5 minutes, you can exceed your practice till 5 minutes or so. And that is going to be good enough. If you are preparing an overall protocol, you can give 5 minutes to Ujjayi Pranayama. And these 5 minutes are going to give you all the general benefits that are there for, Ujjayi Pranayama. However, if you want to go into, a deep spiritual practice, so you can go for up to 10 to 15 minutes, right? So you can practice this breath to calm yourself down, right? So that you can prepare the mind for even more subtle practices like meditation. So then you can do this for about 10-15 minutes. It's going to put you in that state of mind so that your next practice is supported. So for yogi, it has been said practice pranayam 4 times in a day, and proper specifications have been given. But for us, even reaching 5 minutes is good enough. And for meditation, I already told you, if you want to, use this before meditation practice, you can go for about 10-15 minutes of practice. You will see a drastic change in the state of your mind when you do this. But do not like jump to directly 10-15 minutes. Go step by step. First start with just a few rounds, then eventually slowly reach to 5 minutes, then eventually reach to 5 minutes. Then do not directly jump into the practice, right? Let's talk about some other things which are very specific to Ujjayi Pranayama, right? That you can do in any posture. So this is the benefit of this pranayam. That even though I said that sitting is necessary for this pranayam, right? But this can also be practiced in other states of body, like you do when you are doing meditation practice. You can still practice this in that particular. You need to see the goal that you have in mind. So when you are,
Cutting off.
using this pranayam to go, okay, cutting off. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Little better. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I was saying that this is the only pranayam which you can practice in any body posture. And the best part is that is the best part about it, that even in your asana classes you would have been asked to do ujjayi breaths, which is very beneficial because this relaxes the body very easily, right? It helps you to hold in the posture for a longer period of time. However, you need to keep the goal in mind. So, if your goal is to, stay in the asana and relax yourself, then Ujjayi breath, this is the only pranayam which can be used at that point of time also. And if your goal is to go into meditation, then it is very necessary that your posture should be sitting posture only. Because you will, go into this breath and then calm the mind and then directly step into the practice of dharana or concentration, and then aim to go towards meditation. So that is why keeping the aim in the mind, this is the only pranayam which you can do while sitting, standing, in any posture. So even while walking, you can do this pranayam, and it has immediate effect. This pranayam is going to have immediate effect to relax the mind if you perform it, right? So let's move to the benefits, right? So one of the benefits I told you, it's relaxing, it's a tranquilizing pranayam. It shows immediate effect when you do it. Then it also has a heating effect on the body. So it doesn't mean that your temperature will change, but it doesn't have that kind of heating effect. So other, I will introduce a few asanas which will have immediate heating effect on the body. Not as quick as that, but overall, before doing the pranayam, it will be a little bit more. You will experience. Again, it's because it is a tranquilizing pranayam, so it has a very soothing like effect on the nervous system, right? It gives a lot of peace and calmness in the mind and relaxes you on a physical level. Again, this pranayam has the quality of slowing down the heart rate, and hence it is very effective for people who have high blood pressure. So you can introduce this practice to them. Just make sure when you are introducing this practice to them, they do not exert any strain. Because if they start, exerting strain rather than helping them, it's going to go the opposite way, right? So you have to again and again establish yourself, in the pre-practices. I constantly repeat this thing that establish yourself in pre-practice and do the pranayam as if you are doing it correctly. Some people, when they practice pranayam, they exert too much strain, and hence the opposite impact happens.
Cutting off now.
Okay, for someone who has insomnia, cutting off. Oh.
It was cutting off before, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I was telling you about the benefits, and I was saying that be very mindful, because even though it is a good practice with high blood pressure, if they exert too much force during this practice, it might lead to opposite impact, right? And you have to be very careful when you especially deal with people who are suffering from any condition. So fit individuals, it's still okay, but again, make them practice the pre-practices as much as possible, right? And as I told you, it has a very calming effect on the mind. Yes, Rekhaji, I couldn't hear you.
No, I didn't say anything. But you were saying about somebody with insomnia as well. What did you say?
Yeah, I'm repeating. Yeah. I said that, because it relaxes the mind. So for for all mind related disorders. It's a good practice, right? And especially for people with insomnia, because this pranayam can be practiced in a laying posture also. So other pranayams you cannot do, but this one you can do. So somebody who experiences insomnia can just lie down in shavasana and practice this pranayama, go for a few rounds, and it does have the strength to deal with that thing also, because it can be practiced in a laying position. So if you practice this, mind will be calm, and then you can doze off to sleep. It has shown to help people who experience insomnia, right? So they can just do that before sleeping, right? So just lie down and practice a few rounds and then see how, you know, because mostly a lot of thoughts go on in the mind when one is, experiencing insomnia. So this helps to relieve that thing. Okay. So let's come to people who should not practice. So once again, this we are not going to practice kumbhak in this, but if you have an advanced level student who wants to practice it with kumbhak, right? Some people will come to you, they have been practicing for years, so they are going to say, introduce this practice with retention only to us. We have done the other one. So again, you have to make sure that they are not suffering from heart disease. Like I told you yesterday, also some contraindications of retention. So one of the major thing was when somebody is undergoing any heart ailment. So in that we do not make the person retain the breath. So just go for the practice I will introduce. Do not make them practice retention. However, you can practice retention with this pranayam as well on an advanced level. So initially just establish yourself in the normal practice, and then you can go ahead and introduce retention, right? Let's come to who cannot practice this. So one was this only, heart patient cannot practice retention. Another thing, anybody who has a very introverted nature, right? Try to keep this practice minimum, or try to avoid it only altogether, because people who are introverted, right, so they do not interact much, right? So this pranayam, as I told you, has a relaxing effect and can be practiced before meditation as well. So it has this tendency to make the mind introverted, right? Because you are using it as a pre-practice for meditation also. Sometimes people do that. So if somebody is too introverted by nature, and you want them to interact more, then this is not your best option. This will have the opposite impact, because over here also mind becomes very introverted, right? So go for other pranayams. When I introduce those, I will tell you the benefits, so you will know which one you can introduce, right? Any
So you,
doubts so far?
eh, you said like for introvert people they can't do it. So is it the introvert people can't do Ujjayi or the retention in Ujjayi? If
Ujjayi in itself has this impact of making the mind introverted. So even normal practice, if you're giving it to them, then go for less rounds. Even if you want all the other benefits, you want them to have all the other benefits, less rounds should be introduced.
okay.
Yeah.
And
One more very major, yeah.
when you said like the heart patients can't do uh, retention in Ujjayi, can they do Ujjayi itself to reduce their high blood pressure?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So normal practice is very good for them, but retention is not good. Okay, so one more benefit that I forgot to mention, like very common one, which is like, the throat. There is contraction in the throat when you do this pranayam. So it has immediate impact on the thyroid gland. Like when we do this, somewhere we are, stimulating the thyroid gland. So it is a great practice for people who suffer from thyroid issues. It doesn't matter if it is hyper or hypo. So hyper is their thyroid level is higher than the average level, or hypo is when it is lower, right? In any which way, this pranayam has the tendency to bring it back to normal, right? So both hyper and hypo thyroidism, both are like tackled through the practice of this pranayam. Again, because it has an impact on the thyroid gland, the metabolism of the body, all the functions of the thyroid gland take place properly because of this pranayam, right? So let's delve into the practice. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, very clear.
All right, great, great. So the practice of this pranayam. So for a beginner, what you can do is, like the crow makes the sound. So very slowly, what you can do is, you guys can try yourself also right now. So just contract the throat and try to make that sound. When you inhale, just, this sound. When you inhale, you can create this sound by contracting the throat a little bit. So if you're not able to do it for a long period of time, you can start just by this, very short practice of contracting the throat and creating that sound, right? So when you do this, eventually you get a hang of how you do Ujjayi. Because when you create this sound, you start getting a hang of how you're going to do it, and then you can work on elongating this practice, right? So just hear like the sound that I create, because I'll be demonstrating Ujjayi now. So you can just hear the sound, right? And try to see if you are able to create this sound. If you are not, like for such a long period of time, go for short, like I did right now. Like just when you breathe, just create that sound momentarily, and eventually work on increasing that, right? So I am going to make a louder sound when I demonstrate it to you guys. Why? Because you need to hear it, right? But when you do for your own practice, you do your own personal practice, that is when you are going to make sure that the sound is low, only you can hear it, right? So if somebody is standing very, close to you, they can also hear it, but it's not as loud as my sound will be when I demonstrate it, right? And there is sound while inhaling and exhaling both. Mouth is always closed, only your nose is used for practicing this pranayam, right? So let's begin the practice, right? So just here, like as I demonstrate, sit in any comfortable posture, make your spine straight, and then were you guys able to hear it?
Yes.
Right. So there was a sound when I inhaled, it was louder, right? And then a little less, like a subtler sound, like I produced when I exhaled. So it's as if you are taking the air in and exhaling through your nose.
Sorry, we can't hear your breathing. I can hear you speaking before.
Am I audible?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I was saying this thing that when exhale also, there is some pressure that is placed on the throat, hence that sound comes out when you exhale. So there is sound during inhalation and exhalation both. And again, nose, your mouth is closed and you inhale and exhale through the nose only when you do this practice, right? So the practice, any doubts in any of this? All of you caught the technique?
No, I didn't get the technique.
You didn't get the technique.
I mean, like, I don't know how to take the breath because I couldn't hear you, the noise. I know you need to take it from
Let me
the
see.
nose, keeping your mouth shut. But how to take it, I don't know.
See, when you inhale, you're going to place some pressure on the throat. So when you inhale, there is going to be a sound. Let me see if I can switch on my camera. If I can, I'll just demonstrate it to you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So this thing, just look at my throat when I'm inhaling. It.
Okay.
So did you see there was contraction in my throat? Like this, see? The pressure that is placed on the throat when you inhale, it's as if you're pulling the air through the throat, right? That is when you will contract it properly. That is why I said on initial level you can go for this technique where you are just creating this little sound.
Okay.
This thing, you can try this, experiment with this, right? Take a few moments, experiment with it, and if you're able to create this short sound, then you will be able to create the longer sound, where during the entire inhalation, contraction is there in the throat, and you are creating that sound throughout. Right? So just take a few moments, and you can do a self practice of this thing. Right? Were you able to do it a little bit? Did you feel that contraction in your throat? Yeah. There is a sound also. Yeah, this sound. Now I could hear it. This sound is what you have to create when you do Ujjayi. Yeah. So this is the proper practice as per Hatha Yogic texts. So it might be possible that in your Ashtanga classes, little bit variation has been introduced. However, I'm just introducing the practices as per Hatha Yoga Pradipika as they have been given over there. Okay. So if you find this variation in both the practices, do not worry about it. All right. You don't have to worry about it. They are kind of similar, and some variation has been given as the person who passed it down also changed. Right. So I think we can then begin with the practice. So we will take some time, abdominal breathing first, and then once our breath is prepared, then we will go into the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama. Okay. So all of you can just sit in any comfortable posture, remain straight, and gently close your eyes. Start observing the breath and stay connected to your breath. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's just come back in the posture and observe the breath. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Going for slow, long, and deep inhalations, slow, long, and deep exhalations. And then prepare yourselves for abdominal breathing. Keep either the right or the left hand on the abdomen and go for a few deep breaths as your abdomen expands and contracts with each inhalation and exhalation, respectively. Keep continuing your practice and go deeper with each breath. Take 3 more breaths in this manner and then suspend the practice. Back and neck will remain straight. Check the state of your mind. How do you feel after a few rounds of abdominal breathing? And prepare yourselves for the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama. Once again, make sure the back and neck is straight. You are in your posture, properly aligned with the body being relaxed. And after your next exhalation, begin to inhale in Ujjayi format, making the sound as you inhale and as you exhale. Make sure that the sound is not too loud, only you can hear it. Go for a few rounds. Try to deepen your practice with each passing breath. And experience the subtle state of your mind as you deepen your practice. Continue the practice. Go for a few more rounds. For 3 more rounds and then back and neck will be straight. Just keep observing how you feel. Observe the state of your mind. Join both the palms together in front of the chest and up both the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Allow your eyes to absorb this heat. One more time, join the palms together and rub them. Place them on the eyes. And very slowly, while blinking and looking at the palms, open up the eyes, come back with a smile. Right? Begin to come back. Take your time. Let's start coming back. Did you face any difficulties, any issues? Were you guys able to practice properly?
Yeah, quite okay.
All right. Okay. Good, good. How about the rest of you?
Oh, I've just come back. This is
All
very,
right.
very relaxing. I think I've got, is it kind of like you're making yourself almost snore a bit deeper down?
Yeah, something like that. Snoring
Yeah.
type sound. Yeah.
Yeah. I
All
wonder if
right.
guys
Good.
find it easier to do.
No, no, no. It has nothing to do with if you snore during night or you don't. Right now, you're making conscious effort to snore. You can say.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Great. All right. So, if there are no doubts, let's close the session.
One more doubt, please.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you said like this is very good for high blood pressure patients. So if there is somebody with low blood pressure, can they do this?
See, a few rounds will not do any harm, but as I told you, it produces heat in the body, so of course they can do it. But if they feel uncomfortable or dizzy at any point of time, then make them suspend the practice immediately. This goes not just for low BP or high BP or anyone, even for you guys, right? If you feel uncomfortable at any point of time in any practice, you should suspend that practice and come to your normal state first, right?
Okay.
So you can introduce it to them as well.
If somebody feels uncomfortable, can they just slow it down, sit down, or if they're in the sitting position, can we keep this position just like that, or they need to lie down?
No, no, no. Just suspend the practice and go for abdominal breathing or normal breathing, where at least you are able to establish stability in breath. So when you're feeling uncomfortable or dizzy, the breathing will also be very unrhythmic. So first you need to completely suspend the practice and come back to normal rhythm. Otherwise, if you just slow it down, you are again and again, like, not giving proper rest to the system. Something is happening, but you are like again and again poking the system, right? So first come back to normal and then see if you still feel that it's all right for you to practice, then you can go ahead and start again. If it happens again suspend the practice. Do not force yourself, right?
Okay. I had a doubt from yesterday when we were doing Nadi Shodhana breathing. Um,
Yeah.
we take breath from one nose and
Hmm.
um, then exhale with after retaining the breath. After exhaling through the nose, I tend to rest there a bit. So, do we need to rest there or just take the breath immediately through the nose?
That is very high, advanced level practice. Uh, External retention also eventually is incorporated in the practice, but it is very, very advanced stage. First, you just have to become comfortable with internal retention. Then a point comes where you practice both internal and external retention. So for
Oh,
now, just try to make that breath as continuous as possible and work on internal retention.
okay. Thank you.
All right. So if there are no more doubts, we'll end the session. Okay, great. So back and next straight, we'll just chant Om one time, followed by three Shantis. Close your eyes and then inhale deeply for Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Just feel the vibrations. Join both your palms together in front of the chest and rub both the palms together. Keep them on the eyes. Very slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, open up the eyes. Start coming back. Namaste to everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see all of you on
Namaste.
Monday.
You too enjoy the weekend. Thank you.
Good. Bye bye. Thank
Bye.
you.